They were crying. My parents sat in the third row, phones up, filming every second. My mother had tissues balled in her fist. My father's smile stretched ear to ear. I walked across that stage in my cap and gown, shook the dean's hand, and took my diploma. The applause was loud. My parents were louder. They looked like they'd sacrificed everything for this moment. But 4 years earlier, they'd made sure this moment would never happen. How do you smile at the people who stole your future once already? I had the letter. The original acceptance letter. It had been hidden in their bedroom for 4 years. Let me take you back to the day I found out I was actually college material after all. But first, drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it there? Hit that subscribe button. This one gets wild. Senior year of high school, I applied to 6 universities. Nothing fancy. State schools, public programs, places I could actually afford if I got some aid. My parents had a different plan for me. You're not cut out for college. Trade school, maybe, or just get a job. That's what my mom said when I told her I wanted to apply. My dad was blunt. College is a scam. You'd just embarrass yourself. So I applied in secret. I used my English teacher's address. Miss Alvarez said it was fine. She believed in me even when they didn't. I filled out every application in the library after school. I checked my email 100 times a day. Nothing came. Not one letter. Not one email. 6 schools, 6 rejections, I thought. So I got a job. Retail. Nights, weekends, doubles. I became a night manager at 20. I took community college classes when I could. Good grades. Slow progress. No bachelor's degree. 4 years went by like that. Then one afternoon, I ran into Miss Alvarez at a coffee shop. We talked. She asked how college was going. I told her I never got in. She looked confused. But I never got any mail for you. Did you change the address? I hadn't. That's when the doubt crept in. I save everything. Emails, confirmations, records. I went home and pulled up my application portal logins. All 6 schools still said, application complete. So where did the letters go? I went to my parents' house 3 days later. Told them I was coming for dinner. I wasn't hungry. While my mom was in the kitchen, I slipped into their home office. Filing cabinet, bottom drawer, a folder labeled 2019 mail. Inside were 6 envelopes, all addressed to me, all from universities, all acceptance letters. Some included financial aid offers, all dated the spring of my senior year. My hands shook. I pulled out my phone and photographed every page. Then I walked into the dining room and put the folder on the table. Why do you still have these? My mom barely looked up. We didn't want you making a mistake you'd regret. My dad shrugged. We're your parents. We know what's best. I couldn't breathe. These weren't yours to hide. My mother's voice stayed calm. You didn't have the discipline. You would have dropped out and embarrassed us. Embarrassed you? Don't be dramatic, my dad said. Look, you're fine now, aren't you? You have a job. You're independent. You'll thank us one day. I picked up the folder. I didn't say another word. I walked out. Got in my car. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely grip the wheel. I had a choice to make. I called the admissions office at my top choice school. A very kind woman listened to my story. Then she said the words I was dreading. I'm so sorry, but that acceptance expired. You'd need to reapply as a new candidate. 4 years of retail work. Community college credits that might not transfer. A degree that felt further away than ever. Maybe my parents were right. Maybe I'd missed my shot. I sat on my couch that night staring at my transcript. Good grades, but not a bachelor's. A week passed. I didn't call anyone. Didn't tell anyone what I'd found. Then my parents texted, "We love you. Let's move past this. Family is forever." I stared at that message for a long time. It would have been so easy to let it go, to forgive and forget. I almost replied. Almost apologized for making things awkward. Then I looked at the photos on my phone one more time. I zoomed in on one of the letters. There was a number I hadn't noticed before. A big number, and that's when I realized this wasn't just about control. The state flagship university had offered me a full ride. Not just tuition. A need-based scholarship that covered $12,500 a year. Renewable for 4 years. That's $50,000 total. I pulled up my old FAFSA records. My parents had filed jointly. They'd listed me as a dependent. Our household income was low enough that I'd qualified for the maximum aid. The money was real. The opportunity was real. And they'd buried it. I created a folder on my laptop. I labeled it evidence. I started saving everything. Screenshots, photos, dates, emails. This wasn't just them being overprotective. This was theft. Theft of my future. Theft of $50,000 in opportunity. But the more I dug, the more I started to wonder. What else had they hidden? I went back through old boxes in my closet. Bank statements. Tax documents I'd kept from my first job. That's when I found something that made my stomach drop. I decided to reapply. As an independent adult student. I was older now. I had work experience. Strong community college grades. I got a conditional acceptance letter 2 weeks later. But there was one problem. To finalize my financial aid as an independent student, I needed my parents' tax records. It's a federal requirement if you're under 24, so I called and asked. My dad's voice was ice cold. You're not getting our tax forms. You're an adult now. Figure it out yourself. That's when they went on the offensive. They called my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. They spun the story their way. Within days, I was getting texts. Your parents are heartbroken. Why are you doing this to them? After everything they sacrificed, this is how you repay them. My mom posted on Facebook. Something vague but pointed. When your child chooses pride over family. Broken heart emoji. 47 likes. Comments full of support for her. I felt completely alone. Then my boss pulled me aside at work. Hey, is everything okay? Your mom called here asking about your schedule. They were trying to box me in. They knew I had 1 week to submit those tax forms, or I'd lose my spot. And they were counting on me breaking first. I didn't need their tax forms. Not the way they thought. I contacted the IRS, requested my own records. As a former dependent, I had the right to see what they'd claimed. What I found made me sick. They'd claimed me as a dependent for 4 years after I'd moved out. Years when I was working full-time, paying my own rent, completely independent. They'd pocketed the tax credits. Around $2,000 a year, $8,000 total, and that wasn't all. In one of those old boxes, I found a bank statement from when I was 17, a custodial account in my name. My grandmother had left me a small inheritance when she passed. $3,200. The account had been closed the day I turned 18. Withdrawn by the joint account holder, my mother. I'd never seen a cent of it. She'd never mentioned it. I later found out from my cousin that money paid for a family vacation to Florida. A vacation I wasn't invited on. Now I understood. This was never about protecting me. It was about keeping me small, keeping me close, and keeping me useful. I kept digging. I pulled my own credit report just to be safe. That's when I found a utility account in my name, opened when I was 16, later sent to collections for non-payment. I'd never opened it. But my social security number was on file. I called my older cousin, the one who'd always been honest with me. I told her everything. She got quiet for a long time. Then she said something that broke my heart. Your mom used to cry when you made honor roll. I remember that, but they weren't happy tears. They were scared tears. She told me my dad had dropped out of college sophomore year. My mom had never gone at all. They used to say if she goes to college, she'll think she's better than us. They were terrified of losing you. Or maybe of you outgrowing them. It wasn't about protection. It was about insecurity. They didn't want me to fail. They wanted me to stay. And when I started to pull away, they used my name, my money, my future to keep control. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted my life back, and I knew exactly what to do. I made an appointment at the university law school. They had a free legal clinic for family cases. A third-year law student listened to everything. Then she brought in a supervising attorney. The attorney was direct. Mail tampering is a federal offense. The tax fraud is an IRS issue. The identity theft with the utility account is prosecutable. You have multiple claims here. I shook my head. I don't want to press charges. I just want boundaries. And I want the truth on record. She nodded. Then here's what we do. First, file amended tax returns for the years I was independent. Get my status corrected. Second, send a formal cease and desist letter. They stop using my name, my social security number, everything. Third, write one factual email to my extended family. Attach the receipts. Let them see the truth. Fourth, finish my financial aid application as fully independent. Use the IRS documentation to prove it. Fifth, go no contact with my parents until they acknowledge what they did. The attorney drafted everything that afternoon. I read it twice, took a long breath, and clicked send. I sent the family email at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. By Monday morning, my phone was on fire. The family group chat exploded. 47 messages in the first hour. I didn't reply. I just watched the read receipts pile up. My aunt, the one who'd called me ungrateful, was one of the first to respond. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. My uncle demanded my parents explain. My parents tried to control the narrative. They called it a misunderstanding. Said I was twisting things. My mom wrote, She's always been dramatic. I stayed silent for 6 hours. Let them spin. Then I posted one reply. Calm. Clinical. I've attached the acceptance letters, the financial aid offer, the IRS transcripts showing the improper dependent claims, and the bank records showing the custodial account withdrawal. I'm happy to answer questions, but I will not argue with facts. The chat went silent. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. My parents. I didn't answer. They left a voicemail. My mom was screaming, "You've ruined this family. We did everything for you, and this is how you repay us?" I saved the voicemail, added it to the evidence folder. 2 days later, I got a letter from a lawyer. My parents were threatening to sue me for defamation. My attorney replied with a single sentence. Truth is an absolute defense, and your clients committed tax fraud. We'll see you in court if you'd like. Their lawyer never replied. 3 days after that, my mom's Facebook post was quietly deleted. Over the next 2 weeks, 3 family members reached out privately. They apologized. They offered support. One aunt sent me $500 toward textbooks with a note. "I believe you." And then the final email came. My financial aid was approved. Full independent status. My past community college credits transferred. Enrollment confirmed for the fall semester. I was going to college. 4 years late, but I was going. My parents didn't say a word. Not for 4 years. Not until graduation day. So there I was, cap and gown, diploma in hand. And there they were. 3rd row. Flowers, phones out. After the ceremony, they walked straight up to me. All smiles. "We're so proud of you, sweetheart. We always knew you could do it." My mother handed me a bouquet. My father angled his phone for a selfie. I took the flowers, looked them both in the eye, and I said, very quietly, "You hid my acceptance letters. You stole my financial aid. You used my identity on your taxes for years. You took my inheritance and never told me. I have every single receipt, and the whole family knows the truth now." I handed the flowers back. "If you want any kind of relationship with me, it starts with honesty." Not a photo op. I walked away. No yelling, no scene. Just clarity. My dad called after me. I kept walking. Months went by. I started my job, moved into my own place, started therapy to process everything. Then I got an email. Subject line, "We need to talk." It was from my mom. 3 sentences. "We were wrong. We were scared of losing you. We don't know how to fix this." I didn't reply right away. I took it to my therapist. We talked through what accountability actually looks like. 2 weeks later, I responded, "I'm willing to talk. But only with a family counselor present. And only if you're willing to be fully honest about what you did and why." They agreed. Progress has been slow. Some things may never heal. But we're talking. And for the first time, they're listening. I also started something new. A small scholarship fund for first-generation students whose families don't support them. It's not much yet, but it's growing. I named it after my grandmother, the one who left me that $3,000. The money I never got to use, but that taught me what theft really looks like. Life moves forward. I have boundaries now. I have my degree. I have a career I love, and I have the truth on record. Here's what I learned. Family doesn't mean control. Love doesn't mean ownership. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do is tell the truth, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So let me ask you, have you ever had to set a boundary with family? What's the hardest truth you've ever had to speak out loud? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story meant something to you, hit that subscribe button. There's more where this came from. Thanks for being here. One last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It's not legal or financial advice. If you're dealing with family conflict or identity theft, talk to a licensed professional in your area. Take care of yourselves. And remember, your future belongs to you.